Hello, hello. Let me turn down the music because it's loud. Oh, is that okay? Is this okay? Nope. Let me see. Now it should be. Nope, it's still not. How? Oh, this should go on top. And I click this. There we go. Sorry, guys. I'm all mixed up today. What is up, Stang? What is up, Renato? How are you guys doing? One second. Let's go, mini PC time. Yeah, so this is going to be kind of a weird stream, because usually I will we'll just talk, and we're still gonna talk and stuff, but I actually have other stuff to do, so this is gonna be kind of like we're working through it together. I've got 2 mini PCs that I need to test and check out, and so instead of doing that kind of in my own time, I thought it would be fun to do with y'all and to do on the stream. This is not sponsored by anyone. Don't buy the products that I'm gonna look at. And just telling you straight up, I don't care. But I know anytime you have products on the screen, people are like, "Oh, sponsored." Like that's not the case, guys. Especially someone like me who I don't get a lot of sponsors. Not every and the problem is that this hobby that we share is very product forward, right? It's like basically that's all it is. It's about different products. So how can we talk about products without it feeling sponsored? You know what I mean? So stay vigilant, but this time it's not. We need some background light. It's kind of weird. Get a little orange going. How's it going, guys? Man, my hat is disgusting. Look at that. I gotta clean this thing. Can y'all hear me okay? The level's good? I mean, they look good on my side, but you can never know. Let me close this. Let me open this. Yerp. Shining J, what's up, man? What is up? And Javier Eduardo Ruiz. Nice. Always, I love seeing people's names in the chat who I recognize. That's really fun for me. So pretty much everyone here, yeah, everyone I've said, I recognize your name. So that's pretty fun. Just got home after work and working on some art. Very cool. Nice. Speaking of art, I recently commissioned something from an artist. She does collages specifically. So she has a Twitch stream and she does collages live, and I commissioned a piece of art with my name on it that would specifically be the channel art for this channel. So like, you know, there's a banner when you click on someone's channel, it would be that, because I wanted something physical. And she's gonna mail it to me too. Has not, I think she shipped it out today, but let me see if I can pull it up for y'all. It is very cool. Did she post it? Okay, so since it was a commission, I don't think she posted it live, which is fair. But it means I don't have a picture of it. But it was very cool, and I look forward to showing y'all. Oh, hell yeah, we love to hear supporting artists, for sure. Would definitely recommend for sure. Especially as we get more and more, AI art. Feel like it's like more. It makes me want to encourage artists, traditional artists more. Um, so if y'all want to check her out, uh, she has a Twitch channel called Gluing Shit on Paper. Give her a follow. It's pretty chill. I'm usually in her chat whenever she's streaming. She'll do it for like, she's very small Twitch streamer, but want to support local artists. I think she's based out of LA. Are you going to use them for server use or just to see how they perform? Well, that's a good question. So one of them is definitely server use, and one of them could be server use, but I feel like it's more for gaming. So we have two that we're working with today. This looks like a beefy boy. This is the Beelink SE13i. They have such stupid names. I don't know. Let me double check though. The Beelink SEI. And this one has a i9 13900K or HK, sorry, an i9 13900K, the Mac Mini at home. Essentially, yeah, Mac Mini would be more powerful than this in a lot of ways, but I think in some ways this one might be more powerful. And then it has 32 gigs of DDR5 RAM and 1 terabyte of storage internal. So this one is definitely a traditional use desktop PC or home server use. A lot of times the home server ones will have 2 Ethernet ports. This one only has 1, but we'll go over them in a little bit. Where did you get them? eBay, AliExpress, Amazon. So these were sent to me. So while this is not sponsored, these were sent to me by the companies, just so we're clear. But if I were going to buy them, honestly, a lot of mini PCs, generally, they will sell them on AliExpress for cheaper. If it is a slightly older mini PC, so if maybe from like a year ago or more, you can sometimes go to eBay and find a used one for a little bit cheaper. But generally, Amazon if you want fast, AliExpress if you want cheap, and eBay if you want old. But all of them are pretty good. But these were sent to me. This one is from a company called TrigKey, and it's got this kind of weird matte, whoa, shiny top. Yeah, company called TrigKey. This has also 32 gigs of RAM, 1 terabyte of storage, but the CPU in this is not an i9. It is a Ryzen 7 8745HS. And so the biggest difference between these two is that this can play games pretty well, like 1080p, 720p, that kind of stuff. Great emulator machine, and this technically can, but it's not going to be good. You're not playing in 1080p. You're playing some emulation, and that's about it. And maybe some esports titles. But for the most part, that's like the biggest difference, is that this is like a really crazy CPU. Really powerful, great for running virtual machines, great for running a home server, great for general desktop compute. Really, really powerful. This one's also powerful, but it also has an iGPU, so this is going to play games kind of okay. You know what I mean? They're just different, right? They're both great machines from what I've seen. I haven't actually tested them, but that's what I'm saying. I wanted to on stream get y'all's opinions on them and see we can just mess around with them. Again, this is not sponsored. Don't buy these. I don't really care. Just so we're clear. I like mini PCs. Don't get me wrong. I like them a lot. I use them all the time. I have a few in my server situation. But there is a mini PC for every use case. None of them are going to be perfect, and they make so many of them. There's tons of competition. Always chase the lowest price you can find. Look on Amazon, AliExpress, eBay, wherever. Oh, Beelink, that's the one I got from my girlfriend. Well, not that exact one, but that brand. Beelink is a pretty big competitor in this market, I would say. The big guys are going to be like Beelink, Minis Forum, GMK Tech. I think those are the 3 biggest ones. And then in the smaller ones, you have TrigKey, you have Palladium, you have Firebat. There's literally so many, but it is a very crowded space, and that's what I mean by like, don't just go out and buy any of them. Like, pit them against each other. You can get some great deals. Pretty much. Mac Mini at home. It's so funny. Why is DIMM so expensive? Very good question. Yeah, and the answer is because if I had to guess, it's just because it's smaller, so it's harder to fit in a smaller form factor, and it's more of a niche product. There are less people buying it these days. When you say DIMM, I'm assuming you mean SODIMM, so like small laptop mini PC, because you said you're using one of these. So I'm assuming you mean SODIMM, and that's the smaller ones. It's most laptops these days have RAM soldered on, and most people don't change out their RAM anyway. So SODIMM RAM is incredibly niche, actually. I know, like, we're all enthusiasts here, so it's not niche to us, but for most people, they're never going to touch it. So, and it's just that the fact that it's just less used for everything these days. It's either normal DIMM, which is the long kind on desktops, or nothing. And that's just the way it goes, unfortunately. So yeah, it is kind of expensive for sure. Both computers sound good so far. Exactly. So far, on paper, these seem pretty sick. But I really like Mini PC specifically because the hardware inside. The fact that you can fit all of that into this is amazing. And so there is some like seriously sick engineering that happens in these things where they are trying to cool everything down. And as long as it doesn't thermal throttle, it's fantastic. But this does look like it looks like a Mac Mini. And surely that must be by design. Surely, like, there's no way they just, oh yeah, let's just choose that color and that shape. Like, but I will say this is actually thicker than the M4 Mac Mini. Yeah, just by a little bit. It's bigger, so it probably needs more cooling because it's not ARM. That would make sense. Minisforum sells refurbished mini PCs. That's a great choice too. Yeah, if they're a good price, why not? I think you can get some great stuff. Hey man, what's up, man? How's it going, dude? A mini PC is a laptop without a screen, kind of, right? That's a great question. So yes and no. A laptop is just a computer with a screen. They're all computers. And what it comes down to is what makes them special is how thin they are, right? Any kind of computer, you have to cram it into a small form factor. And so the smaller you get, like this, or like a laptop, is you need to come up with more innovative and creative solutions to fit everything, but more importantly, to cool it down. Because processors are getting more powerful every day, and our demand to have things smaller and smaller is also increasing. So you have to play this tug of war as a manufacturer. We need to make this smaller and thinner. Well, we need to make it more powerful, okay? But we also need to make it cheaper, but that costs money, okay? So it's like a back and forth that's really hard to do. So I would not call this a laptop without a screen. I would just call this a very small computer. What it does have in common with a laptop is that this uses a mobile CPU. And so these are not going to be the kind that you can take out and replace like in a desktop PC. This is using a mobile chip, just like a laptop. And it uses SODIMM RAM, which is the smaller laptop variants. But then other than that, yes, a lot of the stuff inside is not a laptop, but I mean, a smaller board, more individual placements of stuff, more engineering. It's a lot of very niche stuff going on in here. So I wouldn't call it a laptop. I would call it, they share some of the similar components. You know what I mean? But the thing that makes cooling a mini PC very difficult is the thickness. Oh, let me take that off. It's back. Is the thickness. So laptops, I know they seem huge compared to this, right? Like so flat. But the hardest part about cooling is getting enough room to include heat sinks. Okay, and heat sinks by design have to have mass. And that mass is how you cool things off and you get it away from the processor, away from the GPU, and then you have other methods to dispel the heat. But in laptops, we don't want a thick ass laptop. Could you imagine having a laptop this thick? That would suck. But having that amount of mass would really help out the cooling of a laptop. So you could have this computer spread out over, over so long, the flatter it goes. But now you're just using a very thin heatsink, and it's not going to be able to dissipate mass as well. So laptops actually have to spend way more on cooling than mini PCs do, even though I know this seems small. Just how manufacturing works on cooling specifically, the thicker the better. And so I can imagine most of this internals is one giant heatsink. And then you need airflow, you need compatibility. Like there's a lot going on here, but for the main thing is always going to be cooling. And in laptops, we're starting to see, well, we've been seeing forever, new ways of cooling using liquid metal and transfers of water heat and not just straight up. I mean, there's always going to be a fan, but how they do the heat pipes is more specific and more expensive on laptops. And that's where a lot of the costs come when you're manufacturing laptops, because chips just get more powerful, right? So it's very interesting from a manufacturing standpoint, specifically mini PCs and laptops. Love my Minis Forum UM780 XTX crushes light gaming. Is that the one with the lion? Tech Blacksmith? Is that the one with the lion? You know what I'm talking about? And like you can change the faceplate and stuff. Because if so, I've tested that one and it is pretty great. That one actually uses a very similar CPU to this one. I think maybe the same one actually. Because it's 780M. This uses 780M. But that one is a little bit bigger and it has Oculink, so it's going to be more expensive than this one. But that's a great mini PC. It's the mother truckin' Whitmer. What's up, Dylan? What is up? Thick. Yeah. I'm planning on getting a 7900 XT for $869 at Best Buy. I have a 4060 now. Will the 5700G bottleneck, or should I upgrade my CPU first? That's a great question. I think if you're dead set on getting that GPU, let's just say you've made the decision, you want it, I think you'd be okay. Because let me put it this way, Ant-Man. If you're dead set on that GPU, what would buying the CPU first grant you? Because you don't know if it's going to bottleneck. So what you should do is buy the GPU if you're dead set on it, test it, and if your CPU is bottlenecked, then you can buy a CPU upgrade. Does that make sense? But if not, which to be honest, I don't think it would. I think you would be just fine on a 5700G. Then you just leave it and you save some money. So that could be the plan. But also, I'm surprised you're going into Best Buy because you know they have security cameras there, right? And they do facial recognition and they track your face and they send it to the government. So, and they also track your purchase even if you pay cash, and they can follow you back to your compound. Is that going to be okay? And God forbid you sign up for the rewards plan. Be careful out there, man, okay? Reluctant Hero, what is up, man? Why is this thing not working right now? It's saying I'm not dropping frames, but click, click, click. Oh no, this stupid, this thing. My overlay thing is, breaking. Oh, there it goes. Uh-oh. It's so slow. The 7900 XT was going for $650 in the last 2 months. I'd wait for the price to dip again before buying. Yeah. But that wasn't his question. That's why I didn't, It's a great card nonetheless. I think it's a great little card. When's the next big sale? We just had Prime Day. So the next big sale is probably going to be Black Friday. But then in between, if we're going to have a small sale, it's probably going to be Labor Day in the States, if I had to guess. So maybe you'll see a sale then. Probably not. It's more going to be Black Friday. I think people, most companies spend the few months before Black Friday basically stocking up for Black Friday. And they hold off on sales. But now Black Friday has become like Black November. Like many of the sales start in October, really, which is pretty cool. especially because it's online. So it'll be like all of November, there's like sick deals. And then in December, we still get sick deals, but they're just slightly less sick. It's like 2 months of just many, many sales. Dude, this YouTube thing is breaking. October Prime Day? Oh, right. The second Prime Day. That's right. They did that last year, didn't they? There was 2 Prime Days. Dude, what is going on? I'm trying to pull up your message. It's just, look at that. It's so slow. Their servers are borked tonight. Good to see you, Jason. What's up, Luke? To me, the mini PC is the gravel bike of bicycles, to coin an analogy. No man's land. ITX or smarter footprint PC or laptop for transportability. Fair enough. Mini PC equal heat transfer problem, CPU watt ceiling due to heat, hard to upgrade, doesn't make sense for PC enthusiasts. I would counter that with small. A small. Yeah. You make a lot of what's it called? You make a lot of sacrifices to get what you want. And low power. These things are pretty low powered, like you said, low wattage. So you there's a plus side to everything, right? For gaming, even I think putting one of these in my living room TV setup is way better than having a gaming PC there, even if an ITX build, because ITX build is going to be louder, it's going to be more frustrating, more expensive by far. This guy, I mean, these run, I don't know how much this one costs, but generally, I like a mini PC that can do some light gaming will generally run you $400, $500 maybe. It's really hard to get an ITX PC for that price, and it's going to be bigger and louder and more frustrating. So, you know, mini PCs have their place for different people, right? And for like a home server, I don't want a PC, right? Like I don't want a custom PC. I don't want a NAS. I don't want that. I just want a small, low-powered computer that is silent, quiet, and does everything I need to do. So I understand where you're coming from, but I do believe that every PC has its use case. And like you said, for PC enthusiasts, that's a broad term too. We also talk about how like PC enthusiasts should build their own PCs. Don't you ever buy a PC, which I also kind of disagree with. But that's kind of the sentiment, right? Like people, if you're into PCs, you're definitely gonna build it yourself. But what if you don't want to? You know what I mean? Like, there's just a lot of reasons. We can never have rules on it. But I understand where you're coming from, and I appreciate your thoughts on it. No dual stream to Twitch. I would love to dual stream to Twitch, Rob. But the last few times I did it, we only had like one person in Twitch, and that was frustrating. It's sometimes zero. Like honestly, most people on here know me on YouTube, and so it felt like I was trying to do Twitch, but yeah, it just didn't work out. Maybe in the future, I really should do it. Like it's a smarter way to do it. You should do it. I'm just lazy. I would like to start streaming more to Twitch separately. In a perfect world, I would be doing tech stuff on YouTube, and then for Twitch, I would be doing gaming. That would be awesome. Okay, so your names aren't going to show up on screen. Sorry. The little app is broken. I keep clicking it. Nothing's happening. Sorry. Oh, maybe I can do this. Window capture. Create new. Here we go. This is how we can get. Sorry, guys. This is how we got to do it. And that means I can do this. Ugh. There we go. Oh, man. Look at us. Da-da-da-da. Here, let me. Boom! Look at this. Oh man, look at us. Y'all can see my little mouse. This is fantastic. Oh, there we go. I wonder if NVIDIA is timing their 50 series production line to magically dry up worldwide before they launch the 50 Super series. They have been notorious of that kind of behavior, so I wouldn't put it past them. Yeah. Stang says, would you go for a B580 or a 9060 XT 16 gig for 1440p high refresh games? The 9060 for sure. It's $100 more, but it's going to be way better. It's worth the $100 in your scenario in 1440p high refresh, for sure. After October Prime Day and Black Friday in 2024, the 40 Super Series 16 gig VRAM or more was gone everywhere. Yeah, that was kind of like the final time to buy it, huh? The 4060 is newer than the 7900 XT. How can I tell if my CPU is bottlenecking it? I average around 60 to 165 at most games, never dip below 60 FPS unless cutscenes. Yeah, Reluctant Heroes got the answer. If you use an overlay program like MSI Afterburner and your GPU can't go higher than 95% utilization, it's CPU bottleneck. Then yeah, you got it. Reluctant Hero answered it. Oh yeah, what did he say earlier? Wait, where'd it go? Someone said that they oh yeah, Tech Blacksmith said it. I consider myself an enthusiast, and I almost prefer my mini PC 9% of the time. There you go. And then Luke asked, what application would you leave your mini PC and go more power? Fair, yeah. I mean, mini PCs aren't going to be for every situation, but they could be good for a lot of them. How good would a 4060 be for 1440p? Like, you're going to be okay in esports games, but in newer AAA games, like literally the last year or two, we'll say like Indiana Jones, Doom the Dark Ages, anything like that, it's going to be rough. You might hit 60 with DLSS. With DLSS, yes, you will, for sure. But it's going to be rough. Most games, it's going to be pretty rough, unfortunately. I want to get an RX 580 for my Ryzen 5600G. Should I lower my iGPU VRAM? No, why? At the moment it has 8 gigs taken. I have 32 RAM DDR4. No, don't worry about it. No. So what happens, Javier, is that if you when you put in your GPU, all of that power is gonna go to the GPU, right? So the computer, especially with Windows, I don't know how it works with Linux, it understands that a dedicated GPU is going to be what you're going to want to use over the internal one. So you really don't want to mess with any of those settings out the gate. It'll be just fine. It knows to use the dedicated GPU first, for sure. The latest AAA game I've played lately is BO3, Black Ops 3. That's okay. Luke asks, would you recommend a mini PC, maybe lowish end for a senior who doesn't game versus a low-cost pre-built PC like an HP? Yes, Luke. Fantastic use case. I would say, and we're going to pretend it's not a senior, because that part doesn't really matter. If this is somebody who just wants a PC for general use computing, okay? And they're not gaming, they're not doing anything serious, they're checking their email, they're doing whatever they want to do, they're watching YouTube, Netflix, whatever. Honestly, a small, cheap mini PC, these are way too fancy. Don't buy these. But for that, a small, cheap mini PC with between 4 and 8 cores is going to be amazing. because it's going to be totally silent. It's going to be low power. You don't have to worry about it. You can hide it behind your monitor if you want, have a really nice, clean setup. That is like a great use case for a mini PC. For my parents, or for my mom specifically, she uses a laptop, but if she didn't use a laptop, I would absolutely go a mini PC route for sure. Dang it. I need to stop using this cup. It's got advertisers all over it. My sister and I bought my dad a Mac Mini years ago, and he's loved it ever since. This was years ago, mind you. A mini PC, Mac or not, is perfect for anyone with general computing needs. Totally. Absolutely. Will be on my radar for older members in my broader family. Yeah, for sure. And honestly, I mean, it's still a computer, so you're still going to have, Windows issues or whatever operating system you put on. But in terms of like the hardware, it's, let me just say this. If you kick this, it's a very low chance anything breaks. If you kick a desktop PC, even if it's like an HP or something like you said, there could be a chance something comes loose. There's a good chance that the glass breaks or something. It's just another point of ingress. You know what I mean? Like, this is just solid. This isn't going anywhere. I just like them a lot. They totally have a really good use case. Let me see if this is my overheads working. Yo, it is. Okay. So we've been talking about mini PCs. Should I make it brighter? Nah, that's fine. Nathan, what's up, man? No worries to be late. So we've got two mini PCs we're checking out here. First is this Beelink SE SE13i something. So this has a 13900K and 13900HK, sorry, which is I think it's like a 12 core CPU, 20 threads. Absolutely insane. Let me double check. It's not on the box, but this thing's a powerhouse, but it does not have an iGPU that's decent. So this is more of a general compute PC or a home server PC. This thing is sick for things like that. What do we got on the ports? And like, if you weren't here earlier, this is not sponsored. I don't care about either of these PCs. I don't care what you do. This is more, I have to go over these for my job. And so I thought it'd be fun to do together. So we're just kind of talking about mini PCs in general. We got 2 USB-A's, so 3 USB-A's, DisplayPort, HDMI, Ethernet. I'm assuming that's 2.5, but I can't really tell. And a USB-C, 3.5 millimeter headphone port, and a power jack. On the front, another USB-C, another USB, another headphone port, and the power button. What are these dots? Are these LEDs? Why would you need 4 LEDs in the front? I don't really know. Like, this one I understand, sure. What are these for? I don't know. I actually don't know. And what I like, that mini PCs are really easy to get into. All I had to do was remove 4 screws. And then they even give you a little pull tab to pull this bad guy off. Oh, let's see if it can focus. It's focusing on the table really good, but not on the device. Come on. It does a better job of focusing further. So this is what I was talking about when it comes to manufacturing. This is all one big heatsink. I'm guessing these are the speakers. So the speakers are down firing, which makes sense. Dust filters is please dust regularly. I wanted to get in here so I can take off the SSD, because I have my own SSD I need to put in here to test it with. So let's see. I got out that top cover, but there's a lot of screws in here. So I will say this is, because there's so much power in here, there's more screws that you can mess up. That's a downside. I mean, it just is. And so I'm assuming to get to the SSD, I just need to take off. There's so many screws. I'm assuming this whole piece comes off together, and then underneath that I can find the SSD. That's my guess. But I'll come back to it later. Pretty nice. So this one would be great for a home server or general computing or any of that kind of stuff. Yeah, stereo speakers at that, for sure. I'm sure it sounds good. But honestly, like, as long as it sounds not crunchy, it's, you know, it's not going to compete with like dedicated speakers or anything. But, you know, like we said, compromises. What's up, everyone? What's up, Jason? Sorry I'm very late. What's on the agenda tonight? What's up, Sam? We're just talking mini PCs, dude. We're hanging out. It's a countdown to self-destruct LED. Oh my god. Not too much. It's still a bit cold and slightly foggy, but otherwise all good. Nathan, I'm so jealous. It's been 40 degrees here every day. 41 some days. It's been nuts. Let's check out this other one. So this one is the Ryzen one. And Ryzen ones are the better ones for gaming. And this one seems to have better I/O because you actually get a USB 3 one. Let's see if this camera will focus. I doubt it will. I doubt it will. Come on. It's trying to focus on my skin is the problem. Oh, there it goes. We've got an HDMI, a display port, USB-C 3.5 millimeter, and an Ethernet port. So kind of similar to the other one, but it actually has one less USB port. If you see these big vents in the back. Any side, more vents on the sides, more vents. A little fan grill at the bottom. Or no, this is probably for the speaker. USB-C. I don't think this is USB 4. Nope. Not USB 4. Power button, 3.5, USB-C, USB-A, and one LED. I will say between these two, remember this one can game, this one cannot. This one is much thicker. This one feels more premium. This one feels like one big piece of metal. This one feels like plastic flimsy garbage. But I don't know the prices. I actually have not looked at the prices of these. So I'm just assuming, just going off of all of this one's going to be more expensive by a little bit. The CPU is more powerful by a lot, but it can't game. So those are cool little web surfers for sure. Hazard me. This one can game, I'm telling you. So this one also is 4 screws and a little pull tab to pull off. So let's see what we're working with on this one. Oh, wow. So that was a fan. Is this the only fan in here? That'd be pretty crazy if there's one fan. So as you can see on this one as well, a high temperature, huge heatsink, fan bracket, and SSD cooler. Okay, I'm assuming there's another fan in there. And again, not as simple to get to the SSD changing, but it does say fan bracket and SSD cooler. So, I mean, I could read the manual, but I'm assuming this covers the SSD. Let's see. High temperature. 1, 2. Are these screws? This is very tightly packed. The way they cool these things is amazing, man. I don't know how they figure it out. Can I get... There's like a little grommet covering this. Oh, it's not. It's covering a grommet. Okay, we can try. There's 2 screws here that I think should pop this guy out. So we're going to go for it. It's so dark here. Let's get a 5090 and use it as an external GPU and play Indiana Jones. You totally could. Honestly, that I would prefer this. If we're using an external GPU, I don't think either of them have Thunderbolt or USB 4. But if I did, this one would be prime beefcake for that kind of thing. That CPU is so powerful. I think it's having a hard time focusing because it's so dark. But I refuse to increase the brightness. All right, let's see if I can get this out. Can I just pull it out? That'd be pretty cool. Oh no, this whole piece is one big piece. This is all connected. Interesting. Okay, that's fair. So it's 4 more screws, which again, not as big a deal, but the more screws. So on the UM780, who said they had it earlier? I think that one has a quick access slot to the RAM and the SSD, right? There are some mini PCs that like on the bottom, there will be like one slot for RAM and one slot for SSD. So you can just sometimes toolless, you can go in and swap them out. It is amazing. But of course, those are going to cost a little bit more. Okay, so this was able to come out, but there's a ribbon cable attaching it. I'm guessing it's for the fan. I don't want to. Okay, okay, there we go. So this metal piece acted as one giant heatsink as well. You can see that with all this mass here. We got a little tiny fan here, ribbon cable, and thermal pads for 2 SSDs. Oh, nice. So we're using Crucial RAM. That's a good brand. That's good to see. Here's the NVMe SSD. The Wi-Fi chip is right here, but if you wanted a second NVMe drive, it would go on top of it, and that's why there's 2 thermal pads there. So you can run this in a RAID configuration. You can have 2 drives, and that would allow you to have redundancy. So this could also be a good home server use case. Pretty dense, if I gotta say. Pretty dense. It's pretty cool. Not too bad to get on the UM. Okay. I know one of them had it was like incredibly easy, like almost shockingly so. It's times like these you hope Christmas comes very early this time around. For sure. So this one, if any of y'all saw, I posted a video a few weeks ago about another mini PC. That one has a very similar GPU to this one, but it had way less cooling. It was super easy to get into it. Just 4 screws, boom, and there was less cooling. So I wonder if having this much cooling would get you better performance. But it already had really good emulation performance and surprisingly good 1080p performance as well. So I always wonder with these mini PCs is like there's a big bottleneck on them, and that's because the CPUs can only get so powerful because there's no way for the heat to get out. So they really limit the wattage on them all the time, and you kind of have to go into the BIOS setting and do your best to crank them up. But even then, sometimes they're just not as powerful as they say they are. So you have to use limiters on them. I don't know what brand this SSD is though. So the RAM was Crucial. So that means they didn't skimp out on that. Let's see. I'm gonna guess Samsung. Oh no, it's also Crucial. Okay, so this is a Crucial P3 Plus. I guess that makes sense. I have used the P3 Plus before. I like it a lot actually. So that's a good one. Okay, so they did not cheap out. I think this is a Gen 4 drive. It's not like the fastest Gen 4 drive, but it is a more budget oriented one. But hey, it's a good start. And for someone who's using this, I think there's no problem. So it's pretty cool. Let me get this back in, and I want to see if I can try to take apart this one. This one had that pull tab. This one, yeah, the build quality is so much better. Like, it just literally is just better. It probably needs all of this just to keep this at bay. I can only imagine how much heat this thing poops out. Okay. So this screw definitely comes out. That's all I know. This one has got to go. It's inlet. It's holding this thing down. Hold that there. There's 2 here. This one's definitely holding it down as well. Good. Will it run Crysis? These will both run Crysis. That one will run it just fine. This one will probably stutter a lot. Okay. Was that enough? 2 screws? Oh, wow, the speaker comes out with it. Oh, we've got a ribbon cable. Okay. So this one I can't just yank out like a fan cable. I actually need to pull the slot on it to make sure it doesn't break. So give me 1 second. Wow, interesting how they plug all this in. Oh, does this one not have a little tab? Yeah, I think that just broke. No. That's a broken cable for sure. That's broken for sure. Oh, it broke so quickly. I didn't even pull on it. I literally was like finagling it to look, and it came apart. So simply. Oh, that's why. So this does not come out. The pull tab is on the board. It wants you to pull it out here. It's really hard to access though. Like, what did they think I was supposed to do? Oh, just the cable comes out. You win some, you lose some. Luckily, that doesn't seem like that big a deal. Can get a little ribbon replacement. And this just powers the speakers, as far as I know. Here's 2 speakers, so not the end of the world, but still kind of annoying. How easily it broke, you know what I mean? We'll figure that out later. Okay, the internals on this look cooler. And if you see, cooling is such a big deal on this that even the SSD has this huge heatsink on it, because this is all sharing the same cavity as each other, and you don't want the heat from the SSD, or the heat from the CPU impeding into the heat of the SSD, because then it's just going to double. Yeah. If that happened to him, I just wondering what would have I did to it. Hey, it happens to the best of us, man. Like, sometimes you just can't get around it. Okay. So I'm guessing this heatsink comes off with just 2 screws. So it's unfortunate, but it was just the speakers. So not the end of the world. And I'm kind of doing this blind. I think if you were doing this, you'd probably use a guide, which you probably should, honestly. Is there a screw in here? Yes. Get this one off too. Can we get this off now? Okay. Oh, is this a sticker? Okay, so I can peel this off. So here on this giant heatsink, it's really thick. We've got 2 thermal pads as well, and our SSD is popping out. So where's the RAM? The RAM is underneath all of this. So if you want to replace the RAM, you have to take apart this whole thing. To replace the RAM, you have to take out the motherboard. That's a big downside to me. I think that's not great. Like, truly. Oh man, that sucks. You have to take out the entire motherboard because it means the RAM is on the other side. Like, am I going crazy? I feel like that shouldn't be the case. That's not a good idea. Let's see the SSD. SSD in here is also the P3 Plus, so I wonder if Crucial sells a lot of their stuff to OEM brands. Could be. I wonder how cheap these are in China. So it's interesting. It's the exact same SSD. So yeah, this one has better cooling because it's a bigger chip, but man, that's rough. To change out the RAM, you have to take out the entire motherboard. You sound like your heart dropped after seeing all the work you have to do. Kind of, yeah. Like, that sucks. I mean, I'm not gonna do it. I had no intention of doing it. I'm just looking. But that's a good thing to look at. It's something that you can't look at by seeing like an Amazon listing, right? You're not going to be able to see access to that. And so that's why that could be a good note for everyone, including me in the future. If you're buying something like this, look into how easy it is to replace some stuff. Where does this go? Because yeah, that means the RAM is underneath the motherboard and you have to take out this whole thing. On certain laptops, you have to take out the motherboard to get to the RAM on the backside. Done for 2 reasons: cost, packaging, and 2, discourage changing the RAM. I'm sure it happens on some laptops. I've personally never seen it, and I've opened a lot of laptops in my days, and I've never seen that. I don't doubt that it exists for sure, but I would argue that it's not that common, especially on laptops. I think most of the time they would just what's it called? Just solder it down at that point. You know what I mean? All right, let's get this back on with my now broken computer. Pretty nice. But other than that, you know, I think 32 gigs of RAM is pretty good, but some people are going to want to use this for AI, and so they're going to want to put a lot of RAM into it, and it's going to be difficult. You have to take out this whole assembly. You have to remove the motherboard. You have to remove this front I/O part. You have to remove the power supply back here. It's a lot of work just to put in some RAM. Kind of stinks, but hey, what are you going to do? Man, it's a shame about this ribbon cable, man. That tore off so easily. Well, how are you supposed to get this out? That's a broken. There's no way. I'll look into it later. I'll probably have to get another ribbon cable. Luckily, these are worth less than a penny. But when you have to only buy one, it can be kind of difficult. How did this go on? Like this? Yeah, that looks right. It's not broken. You just need to use the closed caption now. I mean, realistically, I feel like most people who are buying this are buying it for a home server, and so the sound not working, not that big a deal, and I agree with that. But if you're using this for a desktop computer, I feel like the type of person who would buy a computer this small probably doesn't care too much about the sound, and they just want some kind of sound coming out of the computer. So it could be an issue for someone. Excuse me. So let me get everything back on. 1, 2, is that it? 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, and then this can this goes on top, something like that. Wait, like this. Yeah, pretty cool. I mean, it's a nice looking PC. I can power on here in a second, but I'd have to replace the SSD because this is like a brand new Windows install, and that would take forever to get situated. Bless you for the sneeze, bro. Thank you. I do have, this is my 2 terabyte bench SSD. I slip this into all computers if I want to test. This has all the recording software on it and my games and software, testing software, all of that built in. So I might slip that into one of these guys. Probably this one right here right now. And we can get a game testing on it. So this is the 8745HS. That does still have, look how much easier that was. You know what I mean? All it took was what, 2 screws to take this off. And instead of using a ribbon cable, it uses one of these, I forget what this is called. The fan connector. It's like a typical fan connector, just smaller. Dude, so many people said bless you. You guys are so nice. Can I have a very controversial opinion? I appreciate you guys saying bless you because of the sentiment of it. You wanted to say something nice. I think the world has moved past saying bless you when people sneeze. It's a tradition that we had for a very long time, and I understand its origin. I understand that, but we are past the point where if someone sneezes, I don't think we need to say anything. I think we're at the point where it's like, this person sneezed, silence. We don't need to say anything. We just let the sneeze happen. We let it play out. If they die, they die. If not, it's okay. But we've been so trained to say bless you that it's like it's so involuntary that you guys typed it. You typed it. Excuse you. I think that's the funny part. I think if someone says, like, if someone coughs or burps or sneezes, I think they can say excuse me. It's not really necessary, but they could, and that would also be the end of it. But I think sneezing is one of those things where it's like burping can be foul, farting can be foul, so people feel the need to say excuse me or whatever. Sneezing, man, as long as you cover your sneeze, you're good. Like, I don't care. This is tough to plug in without breaking it. Let me see. Sorry, guys. Actually, when people sneeze now, there's a code word response. People now just say Epstein. You can. I don't want to be saying Epstein every day of my life. How are you supposed to plug this in? It is so tight. And the cable's so short. I like need tweezers to get it in. Sometimes I feel like they build these for people with very small hands. You guys can't see what I'm doing, but basically I'm trying to plug in this cable that is attached to the heatsink top in the fan. But I might just leave it off for now, because frankly, this tiny fan is doing nothing. I'm in an air-conditioned room. I think I'll be okay. This is mostly for the SSD. This SSD is not going to be I'm not doing any benchmarks on it. I think we'll be okay if I just leave it off during a little testing. Put my broken ass ribbon cable over here. Oh, let me show y'all this. Someone sent me a keyboard that I thought was cool. This thing, I might talk about it in the video, we'll see. This thing is pretty cool. I don't know what the name is though, the Hex 80. It is heavy. It is like really heavy. It's made of full metal. Let me see if I can pick up. I don't think it can pick up because I have filters on, but it sounds pretty good. And these are apparently like Hall Effect keystrokes, which is cool. It's got the clearly stolen Evangelion color scheme. I mean, it just is. And it has, I don't know why it has this giant finger. Look, you could see my fingerprints on it. I like it. I like the color scheme of it, just because you don't see purple keyboards really. The font is that stupid 8-bit font, so I'm not a fan of that. It feels pretty good to type on. I haven't tested it very thoroughly yet, but it does. It has a cool look, and so I like purple keyboards. So we'll see. Okay, this can go back on here. Just for posterity. I love the keyboards that look like typewriters. That's crazy. They look cool, but have you ever tried typing on one? I can't stand it. Is this the right one? These look exactly the same. I wonder if they're identical. I guess we're gonna find out. Keyboard looks like Mad Max. It's really heavy, like truly. It's entirely made of metal. Right. We've got some lights. I should have a little testing thing here. Y'all can get some, this is how I test stuff. So I'll plug it into my desk, and I have a little HDMI cable here. This goes into here. And this HDMI cable is plugged into a AverMedia 2.1 capture card that looks like this. And this is going into this PC, and this USB-C is going into my computer. And it captures it through that way. So I'll plug a computer here, not here, this is my desk, usually on the floor, or I have space on my desk next to place it. And then it can come in. But I do need something to control the stuff in it. Where's my... And so when I do that, I generally use this because I'm lazy. And I'm sure many people know what this is. This is the Logitech, I want to say K200, if I had to guess. K400, the K400 Plus. And I use this because it is a keyboard and trackpad all at once. So if you've ever seen me play a game in a benchmark and it looks like I'm like really, really bad, it's because I'm playing like this. Okay? Trying my best. And I reach over here and I pull this out. And what is this? This is the USB to this keyboard. Now, why does it have masking tape at the end? So that whenever it's in my pile of... Crap, my forks got caught. Whenever it gets stuck in my pile of flash drives and USB stuff, I can immediately see, yep, there it is. That's the one. And so it doesn't get lost as easily. That bad boy in. Now, what if I need Ethernet? Well, most things have Wi-Fi these days, but sometimes they don't. So then I reach under my desk and pull out an Ethernet cord. And this Ethernet cord is plugged into a switch under my desk, which is also powering my computer. Well, not powering it, providing Ethernet to it. And that's everything I need. But man, now the power, I think I need to plug in the power over there because now it's all in my way. Let's see. How do I want to do this? Let's go full screen for a second. Are they that bad to type with? Some people love them. They look cool, but I've gotten so used to keys being squares that keys that are not squares feel strange. A good weapon for unwanted intruders. Yeah. All right, let me see if I can pull this bad boy up. So instead of, we'll do overhead, we will turn off that capture. We'll start a new video capture. And I will choose this one. Look at that. I will expand. Why doesn't it fit? And it says no internet found because I didn't have the Ethernet plugged in. So I have my USB plugged in, but it's not, I'm not seeing a mouse. That's worrisome. Let's see, default. Let's do 1920 by 1080. We'll do 30 FPS because the stream's at 30. That could have been the reason. Boop, boop. Why is it doing that? Boop. Mouse? This mouse, this keyboard turned on. There we go, there we go, there we go. Bro, you made it sound like they were outdated. What? No. There's nothing outdated about it. I mean, typewriters are outdated. And so, yeah, kind of. All right, let's get some MSI Afterburner up in here. Okay. So just so we're clear, this PC that we're testing how can I increase the font? Okay, we don't need to do all that. Is a Ryzen 7 8745 HS. It has Radeon 780M graphics. Oh, it's made it small. It has Radeon 780M graphics, which are pretty good. 32 gigs, DDR5, 1 terabyte SSD, even though that doesn't really matter. How to get a different overlay look in MSI Afterburner? You just pick a different theme. Okay, let's see. Okay, so I did not change. What are we playing, boys? Doom the Dark Ages? I don't think this thing can play Doom the Dark Ages, I'll be honest. It's not that powerful. Right now, it's a tiny mini PC. But usually there's a setting in the BIOS where you can change the output. And I think I should go do that first, because honestly, it might throttle our CPU if I don't do it. And I think I really should. I mean, the graph layout, like how Danny had it, you just have to go through the settings. Like, truly, you go through the settings, you pick how you want to do it. Black Myth Wukong it is then? We can try. All right, let's see if this one has any power stuff. Trusted computing. Above 4G encoding. OEM features management. USB power controller, that's fine. Power limit setting. Okay, so here it is. On this one, it's called power limit setting. It's already on performance mode, so we're good. Sometimes there's balance mode, sometimes there's normal, sometimes there's silent, and silent would bring it down to like 5 watts or something. This one only has these two, so that's cool to see. Y'all, I'm walking y'all through how I do this usually. Pretty slow. No way. Get MSI Afterburner up. Ant-Man said play Cyberpunk. Okay, we can give it a shot. But remember, this is a mini PC, so if I don't think we can get 60 FPS, but we'll try. We'll try. If this can play 1080p 60, I would be amazed. Truly amazed. KJ, what's up, man? Hey, Jason, love this live. How you been? I use the Lenovo M920Q. Tiny is my main rig with the RTX 3050 VRAM. The CPU is a 12600T. It's amazing KL stuff, even at 1440p. Very nice. Very cool. Yeah, I remember you going through that. Is that your maiden name, Jason Bench? Bench is my middle name. My maiden name is Mark, so I go by Jason Bench Mark. Try out American Truck Simulator. I don't have that, Sam. I don't have that game. Come on, where's Cyberpunk? And what you're saying is actually something I deal with a lot. Literally, you guys have. Do I not have? Oh, it's not updated. Okay, it'll update. You guys don't know how many comments I get that people are like, let's say I make a computer, right? And I build a computer, I make a video about it. Somebody will comment, try this game at these settings. Like, it's exactly what I play. It's exactly what I want. Tell me what I want to know right now. And I'm like, dude, the video's already done. And first of all, I can't give you everything you want. The video is already done. And you're saying, try this obscure game at this obscure whatever. You are right, KJ. It feels sluggish because it's in 30 FPS. So I don't know what I did previously, but I probably should get rid of the drivers. Yeah, because I don't know what was the last PC I tested on this. I wonder if it was another mini PC. I'm gonna go cry now. Like, I don't mind when people ask like, "Hey, can you try out this game in your things?" That's okay for sure. But it's like literally, they will say, "Hey, play American Truck Simulator at 1080p medium settings for this long, and do this, this, and this." I'm like, "No, you do it." If you say, "Hey, can you do this game?" Sure, I will consider it. But there legit have been some where they're like, "Try this obscure anime game from 10 years ago." I'm like, "No, dude, I refuse." Yeah, I think I need to get some drivers. So let's get these 7840. Oh, it's I mean, it's all going to be the same. I think I could just get the Ryzen drivers and it should be okay. Don't tell me what to do. Try to debloat Windows. That's not going to help, really. You can spend your whole life trying to debloat Windows, and it's all for naught. Okay, sorry, we gotta DDU this up. So for people who have done this, they know what I'm doing. DDU is display driver uninstaller, and what this does is it completely removes any instance of any display drivers that I have before. This is the best way if you are installing a new GPU. So you get rid of your old drivers and you get a new one. Was it AMD? Oh, here's how I would know. If it was NVIDIA, we would have the NVIDIA app, which we don't. So it was AMD. So usually it says you can clean and restart, which I don't want to do. So I will clean and do not restart. Oh, it's going to close MSI Afterburner. That's fair. Bench Marcus has entered the chat. Am I going to donate? I really should, to be honest. Maybe I'll donate later. What's the name of this mini PC? This is, we talked about it earlier in the stream. This is the Trig Key. Let's see. The Trig Key mini PC model Key R with an 8745 HS. Would love to see more eGPU videos from yourself. Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. I feel like a lot of the eGPU videos are, there's not much else to say about it. Like it simply is what it is. And at that point, you're just plugging different GPUs into different CPUs to see the results, which is, you know, something, but it's not really fun to make a video that way. So we'll see. Maybe. Hey, my case got delivered. I ordered a case from AliExpress and it got here finally after 40 days. I do the DDU thing when changing drivers, sweet software. You even do it when changing drivers normally? Wow. I generally just do it when it's a new GPU, or if I'm having issues and I need new drivers. But usually I'll let their software just handle it. Did I ever have issues with Oculink, like crashing or anything? I'm considering doing eGPU as 96XT, set up with my Lenovo, blah, 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 but heard of reliability issues. Did you experience it? Oculink is generally famous for having more reliability than Thunderbolt It's generally faster and less issues. The biggest downside is that you have to restart the computer if you want to switch from GPU to eGPU. You can't just plug and play. You have to completely turn it off, plug it in, turn it back on. That's like the biggest downside. But outside of that, I've had no issues with it, and it seems to be that most people think it's better because the Oculink plugs directly into the PCI Express, and Thunderbolt doesn't, obviously. So get some little better performance there. Okay, so we've got that. Let's get these downloads. Come on. Right there. I'm still waiting for the upgraded Marketplace PC until it gets stupid serious. I'm fiending for this content, and you're the dude for it. We'll see. Do you have to restart the eGPU as well if you use an iGPU, though? No. What I mean is that if, like, let's say you have a mini PC and you are running off an iGPU, that's fine. The second you want to use an eGPU, you have to turn it off and plug in the eGPU. And if you want to go back to iGPU, same thing. Turn off, unplug it, turn it back on. It is, you have to every single time. So you can't like go back and forth very easily. Yep, that's what we need. Custom 780M graphics drivers. Thank you, AMD. Thank you. Yo, y'all should start calling me Bench Marcus. Jason, do you believe overly graphic clarity of the integrated graphics is beneath that of, say, a discrete mid-range GPU with 8 to 12 gigs? No. Now, okay, when you say overall graphical clarity, I'm assuming, I guess you don't mean rasterization, right? You're not saying that. You are saying that by plugging it in, can I look at text and stuff and it looks clear? Is that what you're trying to ask? You're saying is that does a mini PC using integrated GPU, would that be worse than a dedicated mid-range GPU that has far more VRAM and all that power? Is the clarity on screen going to look better? If that is the question, I'm going to say no. Because I've used many computers, laptops, all that stuff. Looking at Windows does not feel different. It feels the exact same. Truly, the only thing difference would be stuff like rasterization or encoding and that kind of stuff. But if we're just talking about true clarity, I don't think a 5090 looks more clear than an iGPU. Or if it does, it is within a margin of error that I guess I can't perceive. I mean, I've never thought about it, but I don't know. Browsing on an Intel iGPU looks clearer for me than my NVIDIA GPU. Could be. And it could be a question of color settings, I would say, if we're talking about that. If we're talking about clarity, the things that are going to matter most are going to be your colors and your monitor. Yes, and say YouTube picture quality. So there is a certain level, Luke, where to look at YouTube, you do need help from your graphics driver. That is true. And I have used some CPUs that are so weak that it has a hard time transcoding 4K YouTube videos. And so, yes, it does look bad, slower frame rate and that kind of stuff. So I would say yes, actually, if you have a CPU that is so weak, like an N100 or something, or even like a Raspberry Pi or something, it's going to struggle with 4K video on YouTube. But if it's like a normal desktop piece CPU, even like we'll say like an i5 2600K or something from like 10 or 15 years ago. Generally, no, those might be bad with 4K. Generally speaking, as long as it can handle itself in most tasks and it's not going to struggle with 4K, especially if it's from the last 10 years. So if it has like quick sync, if it's an Intel CPU with quick sync, you're fine. There's nothing to worry about ever at all. You'll be fine in terms of clarity, in terms of 4K YouTube, all that stuff will be just fine. But yes, if it's like such a piece of crap CPU that it can't handle transcoding, then yeah, you might have an issue. 4K videos, I assume it's better to do dedicated GPUs. If you are, well, that's what I'm saying. If you're streaming 4K from YouTube, it doesn't really matter. Yes, it would be better on dedicated GPU, but not really. It's just not really. If you are watching 4K downloaded videos, then maybe. Again, it just depends how bad the CPU is. Because I'm talking about CPUs that are so bad that you can't even boot League of Legends. You know what I mean? Like, I'm trying to say, like, really, truly so bad. But if it's like a normal CPU from the last 10 years, I think you'll be okay. Oh, the person who did my collage just emailed me. Wait, we got an error. A general error has occurred during the installation. The specified server has been marked for deletion. Bros, what's going on? What happened? Error 1603? Guys, what is going on here? Okay, I guess it's gonna make me restart. That sucks. Intel QuickSync, I thought it was just for video editing. Is it also for watching videos? Could you tell me a bit more how to use them at Intel QuickSync? You don't have to think about it. It simply is. So QuickSync is amazing for video editing. Yes, amazing. But it's also, what it is that it is transcoding. Okay, and so it is taking videos or anything really and turning it into a piece of data that is more compatible for what you're looking at it on. Okay, it can do it really well, really efficiently. It's really, really great. So it's going to help with videos the most, or entirely. QuickSync is not for gaming. It is entirely for transcoding videos, as far as I'm aware. You don't have to do anything. The thing is, if you are looking at a YouTube video or you're video editing or whatever, we get this notion, that's so boring. We get this notion that our dedicated GPUs are doing everything, right? That's simply not true. At all times, your CPU and GPU are doing a lot of things, and that's even when you're playing games. You think your CPU is just pushing your GPU. No, there's actually graphics coming from your CPU at the same time, even if you have a dedicated GPU. There are certain parts of the game's process that makes more sense to pull from the CPU. So your computer is going to do what's most efficient for it and what's going to be the most powerful. So unless you've messed around with settings, if you are, so let's say you have default settings, right? If you are watching a video, even if you're plugged into a dedicated GPU, it is very likely that your computer will use QuickSync from your Intel CPU rather than your dedicated GPU. Now, why would it do that? Because it's incredibly more efficient. You don't need to spin up the fans on a dedicated GPU just to watch a YouTube video. And that's going to take up, what, 300 watts of power for watching some shit post on YouTube. Like, that's not worth it. Or I can use a couple watts of this CPU real quick to just do it incredibly efficiently and better. Okay? And so the same thing happens when you're video editing. When you're video editing, mostly you're actually using your CPU most of the time, even if you have a dedicated GPU. So when you're scrubbing the timeline, you're viewing videos, all that stuff is primarily done through your CPU. And the stuff that's done through GPU is when you start adding like graphics, or when you want to finalize the video and you want to finalize and export it, that's going to use your GPU as well. But for the most part, most of its stuff is going to be using the CPU because it's just more efficient. And that's great. So you don't have to do anything. You don't have to do anything. It just does it. And it's just a nice benefit of QuickSync. AMD has their own version of QuickSync. It's kind of built into theirs as well. But from what I've seen, it's not at the level that QuickSync is for what it is. So obviously CPUs get more efficient over time. But if you use a CPU, if you use an i3-6100, right, that's a very old, low-powered CPU, it has QuickSync on it. So that CPU alone would be enough to run your Plex server. No dedicated GPU, no big, bad, evil system, takes up a lot of power. A simple, tiny CPU, i3-6100. If you are only using 1 or 2 users, it will do all the power off of that QuickSync because that's how good QuickSync is. Now, obviously, the newer ones would be better, but it just goes to show like how much power QuickSync has. You can run a server off of it and do a ton of stuff on it. It's like really, really amazing. And we generally only think of these things through gaming because, you know, we're gamers, but there's so much more to it. I want to get Allie in here so she can plug. What's the link to this live stream? Give me 1 second, guys. So if you didn't know earlier, here, I'll explain it when she comes in here. Let's see if I can get her in here. Awesome. I'm live streaming right now. Do you want to plug? Oh, she sent a picture. Okay, so if y'all didn't know, there's someone named Allie, and she is a Twitch streamer, and she does collages. And I thought this was really cool, really creative, good stuff there. And I commissioned a collage from her. Come on, download it. And I said, yeah, want to plug? She just finished it and she scanned it. Wow, it looks really cool. And this is going to be my my picture for my YouTube channel, my Twitter account, all that stuff. I wanted something that kind of represents me, but in a cool, fun way that isn't just like AR garbage. So let me see if I can get this on here. Window capture, yeah. Oh my gosh, it's so big. And then, so this is what she came up with. And I was really cool. I got to watch her do this live. So this is actually a physical, oops, that don't matter. This is a physical, this is a physical collage that she made by gluing things on paper. And then this is a high resolution digital scan of it. And she's going to mail it to me. And there she is. Hi, it's Allie. I don't know why I'm in this random work email, but I'm here. Oh, is this your... Okay, cool. What is up, Allie? I was just explaining your piece, Allie. So Allie has no idea who I am. So she's seeing my face for the first time. But I'm a viewer of hers. I can't figure out how to switch it. Go on the top right of YouTube, Allie. Top right, there's a little picture. It says the B. Click that and hit switch account. You're ruining poor Dylan, man. I'm not. I'm explaining. Yeah, she did a really good job on this. So what Allie did is she does Twitch streams where she collages these kinds of things, and I commissioned her to do this. And so she went out, and all I said was that like I want a piece of tech for the channel. I want it to be technology. I want it to be interesting and colorful, but mostly it's, you know, y'all know this is a computer channel, so I wanted something technology, but also to be kind of fun and creative. And so it is kind of like an art form in a way to kind of choose where stuff goes. And so I got to watch her do this live, and I think it looks fantastic. And so what it's going to be is in the middle where it says my name on my YouTube banner. That is what it's going to be. It's going to just be the name right there, and then people can expand on it. It's going to look really cool. And then she is sending a printed one to here, and I'm probably going to frame it and put it on the wall because it looks really good. I think I might have her do a one for my wife as well. We'll see. You're totally right. I'm scared of accidentally exiting out, so I'm just hanging. You're good. Yeah, it looks fantastic. Really, really fantastic job. I think it looks great. Oh, I don't know about teaming up. I paid her, or I guess I'm going to pay her. This was this was a commission, and so if y'all were here earlier, I talked about it earlier. But she does live streams most weeknights, I feel like. So you can drop their Twitch profile here for sure. So she is twitch.tv/gluing shit on paper. If y'all want some chill vibes, watch some art, talk about lesbianism sometimes. It's a great time. So I just wanted to plug her. She's a great artist. So definitely want y'all to go check her out. So if you whenever y'all see this banner, this will probably be my starting screen soon for my streams, so y'all can know where it came from. Just because especially in like a post AI art world, it is so annoying to have to circumvent AI art. And so anytime there's any kind of artistry, I want to celebrate it. I want to bring it out. I'm so sick of AI art. I'm sick of uncreative people thinking they're creative and doing this nonsense. So I want creative people like Ali to get boosted up, and I want uncreative people to be motivated by people like Ali to then become creative, because they have it in them. They're just scared, or they don't want to, or that kind of stuff. And so I just so sick of AI art. I want to boost up this kind of stuff. I want to boost up artists or other streamers and that kind of stuff. I wish that fish was Billy the singing bass. She can do it. That was the cool part. Obviously, you can just watch her Twitch stream for free, but if you ever do want to commission it, she went out of her way to like find I think it was from like a technology magazine from the 80s. She was kind of flipping through it on the stream, and that's where a lot of these came from, where it was like the brand new TSR 80. It costs $2,000 and it has 5 kilobytes of power, and it's so funny, first of all, to see that kind of stuff. But it was really cool. So yeah, totally would recommend. I just posted the link in the description if you want to go check it out. And for her day job, she I think is a producer over at HeadGum, which is a podcast company. Are you a producer, creative producer? You're something like that, which is also another great company. So if y'all like podcasts, go check out HeadGum. I'm a big fan of them as well. Yeah. So yeah, thanks to Ali. Glad you jumped in here, Ali. I know she just emailed me, and I very quickly on the stream was like, "Hey, if you're free, come here." So sorry to get you to rush in here. I'm sure you're at home now, which is cool. But yeah, thank you so much. I think it looks awesome. So shout out to her, and then yeah, go follow her on Twitch if y'all want some chill collaging vibes. Thanks. Have a good night, Ali. Appreciate it. Okay, so now we go back to this one where we're getting mad because I don't know if y'all remember, we're trying to update this mini PC and it is not working. We got that error, and I'm just walking y'all through my process of how I do this because it is so frustrating. You think, oh, he just plays games. It's like, no, most of it's really boring stuff like this where it just doesn't work. Okay, so I restarted it. I'm hoping this will give us the drivers because I don't want to even look at games if it's not going to work. All right, here we go. Wait, adrenaline. Isn't that the That's fine. That's Pro. No, Adrenaline is what we want. Yeah. Okay, and it's even saying repair, so it knows it crashed. So we'll see. All right, here's hoping. Oh, that's zoomed. Here we go. Jason, do you turn HDR on the display settings and use Windows HDR calibration app to tune your display? Luke, I'm going to tell you something that might be a little shocking. Oh, crap. Hold on. Bloop. I don't use HDR. I don't use HDR. But let me tell you why. Let me tell you why. I like the look of HDR. I think it looks beautiful. But honestly, every time I use HDR, it is like resets my graphics drivers, or it will like break my machine or slow down everything or mess up with my display and have tons of other issues. So much so that even on like my TV that has HDR, I have to turn it off. On my computer, I've been turning it off. So I've actually never really messed with HDR because every time I do, it's just so frustrating. This might be the wake-up call I need to get back into it, but it's gotten to the point where I'm just like, it looks better. It definitely does, I can tell, but it's just so much extra work. You know what I mean? Like, it's so much extra work. And it just always has issues. I've always had issues with it. So I haven't done any calibration of that kind of stuff. I don't mess with HDR, to be honest. It just works on console. So we use a Google TV device on our TV, right? Because it's better than the in-TV one, and it has HDR, and it does work most of the time. But it resets itself constantly, or it literally like turns off the device and does all these weird things with the TV, and just like it feels like it doesn't know if it wants to be on or off, so it just resets everything. If it was as simple as turning on a setting and it would just work, that's fantastic, but I have not had that experience, unfortunately. So I've had to turn it off, and then as soon as I turn it off, everything goes back to normal. So a little frustrating, but that is how it works, unfortunately. Have you had good luck with it, Luke? Because I agree, it looks great, but I just haven't had good experience with it. Right? Do you use it pretty often? It worked. We did it, boys. Can we finally try Cyberpunk now? Oh, but I have to update Cyberpunk. I think they got an update recently. Damn you. It's almost done. I am watching your YouTube video in HDR. But that's interesting because I'm not recording this in HDR. So how does that work? So can it, as far as I know, HDR has a lot of moving parts where the content has to be HDR, the monitor does, the settings have to be. Yeah, so if I'm not recording this on HDR, I guess it doesn't matter. I don't know. I actually don't know about HDR, but that's interesting. Maybe I'll give it a shot. Maybe I'll make a video that's called Giving HDR a Try Again. Or if it doesn't go well, why I still hate HDR. Medium luck, I hear you, brother. That's fair. It looks cool, so we'll see. I'd love to give it another shot. What is going on? Why does this take so long? Is that 50% complete? Whoa, whoa, whoa. What's going on here? Oh, why is it so slow? Because, so look, it already downloaded, but installing it is very slow. Huh. Why is it so slow to install? This is a very fast drive. Look, it's like ramping up. That's interesting. See, this is the kind of stuff you notice when you you benchmark stuff, guys. This is my process. I'm gonna check out processes. Nothing's really getting maxed out. So the drive is just hitting its max transfer speed. But it should be pretty... I mean, it's got a huge... it's like 4,500 or something. We're not even hitting that. It is treating this like it's a SATA SSD. Well, that is faster than SATA, but it should be able to write more than 300. Disk transfer rate is 1 gig. Oh, I guess... I don't know. Oh, it's just like speeding up. It's like ramping up. Oh, okay. I think I know. It's because... I wonder if it's because I didn't put the fan back on. No, that's not that hot. Because I didn't put the top fan on, which is dedicated to cooling the SSD. So I'm gonna put it in front of my AC and see if that helps. If you give HDR another go, try the Windows HDR calibration app to tune your display. Okay, I'll give it a shot. Your HDR access may be in part linked to your HDMI TV setting. It certainly is. That is kind of part of the issue I'm having. I'm trying to look. Once I put it at the AC, it fell. You'll see that? No way. It's super cool now. What's the temperature? Hold on. This is crazy. Oh yeah, I don't know, it's just getting maxed out. Is it that hard to install files? Very strange. It's not that bad of it. Yeah, the SSD is a P3 Plus, man. This should be much faster. I'm surprised. Maybe, oh no, we're writing. Okay, never mind. We're writing and writing is not very responsive on this drive, so that's fair. It's just taking a while. I may have accidentally fell asleep there for a bit. Sorry. You missed Ali, who's the artist of my collage. Playlist of Dreams asks, do you have any tips for keeping settings as they are when reformatting my drive with my OS on it? Should I just take pictures to remind me of what settings I'm using for different things? Man, that's tough. Let me think. Man, if you are reformatting, here's how I do it. Yes, I could say, hey, just back it up, use the reset setting, blah, 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 blah. But that's not really reformatting, then, is it? That's kind of resetting. If it was me, how I do it is that you will immediately know when a setting is gone, right? So like for me, let's say it's a wallpaper, right? Your wallpaper is always the color blue. And you reset it, you reset your computer, and you're going through the settings. Well, guess what? The wallpaper is now black. But you know it's always blue, so then you're going to go change it. And so basically, as you're using your computer, that kind of stuff is going to keep coming up. You're going to remember something, or something's going to be impeding you, and it's going to make you want to change that setting. But here's the thing. If you don't notice it, you didn't really need it in the first place, right? So it might be better to leave it off. So I would say just reformat it and don't worry about it. And then as it comes up, you can go and do it. But if it's like super important and it's like imperative, yeah, go through and like take some photos, I guess. But there are a few settings in this world that you would both forget about or to forget how to change it, right? If it was so important, you would know. And if it wasn't so important, you can forget about it. And so use this reformatting as a chance to not do that. You know what I mean? Okay. Space Marine, you are paused. Cool. Let's try some Cyberpunk out finally. Makes sense, thanks. For sure. That's my take on it. I mean, people might have a different idea, but that's how I do it usually. Come on. Oh, does it have sound? I don't think so. Oh, it does have sound. It's just loud. You're asking for a feet cam? Yeah, that's not happening. Is it loud? Might be. Here, let's turn off the background music and we can just listen to the in-game music. Let me monitor output. Wait. Can y'all hear it? I see it on the thing, but I can't hear it. Oh, well, we don't need sound. Bring back the music. Okay. 3. Let's try video. We want 1080p for sure. VSync off. Graphics. Okay, I want to try this first without FSR. I just want to do raw native performance. Oh man, this is impossible on a keyboard. No. Did I fix the sluggishness? The sluggishness is not there. The sluggishness exists from the recording software. Agree with Jason about setting philosophy. That's how I feel about it's kind of like when you're cleaning out your closet, right? It's like if you didn't need it, if you don't realize it's gone, you didn't need it in the first place. Oh, A and D. Okay, let's go native. Okay, off. Yeah, just off. Texture quality probably low. No, we're not turning on ray tracing. Don't even think about it. Bump, 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 bump. Motion blur, nope. All of this can stay low, 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 off. Medium, sure. Okay, so this is basically low native 1080p. Oh my gosh, hurry up. See, when you go down, there we go. Okay, apply, and then let's run the benchmark. Here we go. That's how you will earn my $5 a month? Sorry, brother. There's a whole world of Twitter out there for you for that. We do other things here. Okay. Where is MSI Afterburner? Oh, I guess I have to bring it in. Okay. So this is on an 8745. Hold on, come on. There we go. Native, 1080p, everything low. Okay. Averaging about 40 FPS, 1% lows of 33. That's pretty consistent. That's pretty good. Honestly, Cyberpunk ran worse on the PS4 when it first came out. So the fact that this is like PS4 performance is pretty cool for a mini PC. I can feel it getting hot just below me. I can feel the air bursting onto my face. It's crazy. Wait until I get outside. Yeah, it actually goes up. Our average is boosting to 44. Pretty good for native, man. GPU usage at 97%. That's fair. The temp is at like 75, 76, 78. That's within normal range. It's not thermal throttling or anything. I know when people hear, they hear 30 FPS or they hear 45 FPS and they go, whatever, that's not great. Dude, it's on this. It's amazing. You have no idea. So we averaged 44 FPS with a respectable 1% low. That's pretty crazy on a mini PC this small. That's pretty crazy. So imagine you hook this up to like your living room PC. You've got games on it. Yeah, this is playable totally. And this will run emulation up to like Wii U, PS3, all that stuff. Maybe some Switch games if you're lucky, the lower end ones. Let's try it with FSR on, because I think that might get us up to 60. Let's just keep it auto. Let's just do auto and see what happens. So just a simple, so we averaged 45, 44 native. Let's see what we can get with FSR. We learn where the settings boogeyman is because we are traumatized, and don't forget, other stuff, as Jason explains, doesn't matter. Exactly. That's a very quick way to explain what I was saying. If it scares you, you'll go find it. Wow. So this brought our average up from 34 at this part to 52. Really pretty good. That's a big jump. we might actually hit like a 55, 56 FPS average at the end. So this is with FSR on, and trying to see if there's any smushiness. I see a little graphical glitches here and there. It's pushing. So this is not the best of the best. But for such a small package, and it's pretty affordable, I think it's pretty good. Temperatures are still good. CPU power runs at under 50 watts. Okay, that's fair. That's about what I expected. It's better than a Steam Deck. Oh, did we average 60? 59? 57. Okay. So 1080p, FSR, everything on auto, low, 57 FPS average. I call that playable. I call that good. I wouldn't. It wouldn't hurt me to do that. I like that. I think that's good. And Cyberpunk is more of a demanding game, so there are tons of games that aren't demanding that would run much, much better. That's pretty good for a little mini PC guy. Can I hold it up? This is literally the PC we're using right now. I have it just plugged in front of me. I think that's fair. Let's try another game though. Alt F4. So I think some of these are going to run very poorly. So stuff like Indiana Jones, Monster Hunter Wilds, Doom: The Dark Ages, they probably won't hit 30 FPS. They're brand new. They use a lot of mesh shaders. They kind of require ray tracing. They're going to run like garbage. So I'm going to do it just to show you. But this is something that you got to be aware of. So like when I show you Cyberpunk, that is the best case scenario. And so I'm always worried that people see Cyberpunk and they'll think, well, if it can play Cyberpunk, it can play anything. It's like, no, Cyberpunk came out 5 years ago at this point. Like, it's a great benchmark, but it's not the most demanding game these days because games are so bloated. So we're going to try the Monster Hunter Wilds benchmark. I'll be surprised if it even runs, to be honest. So any AAA game that came out in the last year, you'll probably get 30 FPS, maybe, which is playable for a lot of people. But I don't know. It just feels disingenuous. That is quite a respectable frame rate. I would be happy playing it with those settings on a system like that. I agree. And you go into it knowing that. I think people get mad because they see something like this and they go, well, you'd get more FPS on an ITX machine. It's like, well, yeah, of course. Of course. And if you have the room for an ITX machine and you want that kind of lifestyle, then yeah, go for it. I think that's great. But there's a lot of people who don't, honestly. They are content with using a tiny mini PC. And that's why I love mini PCs like this one, that this does not have a gaming CPU in it. But I did, if you go back and I watch my eGPU video where I use Oculink, I use a mini PC that uses this same CPU, and I plugged in a 7900 XTX, I think. It was massive. It gamed like a champ, man. Like, this thing with an eGPU plugged into it is a beast because this chip is a beast. By itself, sucks for gaming. But if you're running this in like a home server or just general use computing, you will be so insanely impressed by how slick it is. At 13900 HK, these like laptop chips are like insane these days. It blows me away what they're doing. Are these compiling shaders? I don't want to wait here for 10 hours to do this. What's going on here? Hold on. Boop. That bar is not moving. Please don't make me wait 10 minutes for shaders. I don't think I have the will in me to do that. Now compiling shaders. Please hurry up. The PC hot. I'll give it a second. If it doesn't speed up, I need to pick another game. I wanted to pick, this is the problem, guys. When I benchmark games, you think it's as simple as like yeah, you just boot up a couple games, you're done in 20 minutes. It's like, no, dude, no. Every single game requires shaders. Every single game requires shaders, and they don't work half the time, and you have to update the drivers, and you have to do this and do that, and you have to run each game several times. Every benchmark, it takes me hours and hours just to do some stupid benchmark. It's so frustrating, and you're not actually playing the game. You are playing the game in a way that like looks good on camera. It's not actually having fun, and I'm playing on this. You know what I mean? It's like sometimes it is kind of fun to do like a round of the finals if I have an actual keyboard and mouse, but most of the time it's just this, and it's very frustrating. Game gonna make Jason crash out. Yeah, I might. Takes a long time for Monster Hunter Wilds to compile shaders. Okay, is that a normal thing? Real good info about using mini PC with a discrete graphics card. Another option. Yeah, if people are into that, I think it's a good option too. Robert Fix It, what's up, man? Is this the Mac Mini stream? Almost. So if you're just getting in here, this stream is not sponsored, but I have a couple of mini PCs we're testing out. First one is this one, the 13900 HK. It's like for home labs, general computing, really cool, really good build quality. But the main one we're doing is this one from TrigKey. I can't pull it up too high because it's plugged in. What you're watching is coming from this. This is an 8745HS, which has 780M graphics. And it just rocked Cyberpunk at like 57 FPS, 1080p. So it's pretty good. The heat is blasting onto me. I can feel it. So this is mostly, this stream is sponsored by Broken Promises and Hopeful Dreams, pretty much. And that's another barrier to PC game that doesn't exist on console. What, GPUs? What's the barrier, Dylan? Okay, this is taking too long. I'm not. No, this is insane. Sorry, guys. Every game requires shaders. Okay, here we'll. Man, that game takes shaders too. Everything takes shaders. We'll try Elder Scrolls. This one came out a few months ago as well, so this is kind of a new one. Oh, shaders loading in. Yes. So shaders. For people who don't know what they are, shaders basically exist on PC. Oh my god, I had to download this too. Shaders exist whenever you get a new graphics card. So we did. This is a new graphics card. Like I had installed the drivers, or a new update to the game happens. So the problem is that on console, your graphics card never changes, so it can keep them forever. I think we should just make a video of shader compilations. Dude, I honestly start recording when I do benchmarks very early, like before the game starts booting. And I probably have footage of hours and hours of me waiting for shaders. If I went through all my benchmarks of the last year, I could probably get 2 or 3 hours of shaders compiling. The same games over and over for sure, but like different ones every time. It is so frustrating. And look, 20 minutes to install. I have this installed. What is going on? Is this just an update? What is this? Patching files? There's nothing to patch. Okay, it went down to 12 minutes. This is the frustrating part, guys. I'm telling you. Whenever you just want to benchmark some games, you have to go through. Every game needs an update. Every time. Every single time, no matter what. You need to update the drivers, you need to do the setting, you need to compile shaders, you need to go, like, my god, it is so frustrating. This is the worst part about benchmarks. Just got back with my Wendy's. What'd you order? Back hurts. Oh, if y'all just got here, we were talking about Ali, who's a Twitch streamer who does collages. I recommend go checking her out. I'll drop a link in the description, or I'll drop a link in the chat. Go follow her. I'm usually in her chat room, so you can come chill. Back when I had the Optiplex with the 6400, I would often load in and already be kicked out of the bus before the shaders loaded. Yes, that Fortnite is notorious for that. A lot of the times when I'm benchmarking it, I will just be in the loading screen for minutes at a time, and then when I finally get in, I'm already flying out of the bus. That happens pretty often. All right, see you, Sam. Have a good night. I'll probably end it here soon as well. Once we do a little Oblivion testing, because I only wanted to do 2 hours, and we're at 2 hours now. But need a little more time. I want to do some Oblivion testing before I go to bed, or more realistically, go eat dinner. I don't know why I called it going to bed. Oh man. Dream about me. Bro, I'm pretty sure Sam is like 15. I think Dylan might be on the Epstein list. But not me. I would never be on that list. He was a creep, a loser. We've already moved on from him. Who's even still talking about him? Only Dylan. Because him and Dylan were best friends. The greatest friends. Not me, though. I would never get near that guy. I'm still pretty mad that I broke this ribbon cable earlier. That sucks. Shining J says, I'm a big back. I got a cheeseburger and chicken sandwich. Wow. Crap, trying to be funny and now it's weird. Thanks. You gotta be careful, Dylan. You don't know who is who online. Burger King nuggies aren't too bad. I have not tried Burger King nuggies in a long time. I think there was a time where Burger King had a promotion where you would get like 10 nuggets for like $1. It was like an insane amount of nuggets for a low amount of money. I haven't been there in a long time, but I remember that. And I remember thinking like, wow, that's pretty crazy. Wendy's has spicy nugs. I do remember liking the spicy nuggets from Wendy's. I remember thinking they were pretty good. Burger King nuggets can't be real chicken for that cost. I think it is real chicken, but it's not 100% chicken. I will say I remember eating them and it felt like definitely real chicken, but it felt like a lot of binders in it. So it was like 50% bread, 50% chicken. For sure. Oh, that was a steal 10 for $1. So I was right. Yeah. I remember that a few years ago. Robert says, I went to Burger King recently and 3 people were working and there were no customers. I was thinking I want that job. Interesting. The Burger King near my home, I remember a few years ago I went there for the first time in years. I was like, I want to give this a shot. And I pulled up and the person on the drive-thru said, hey, I'm the only person here. We're closing for the day. Everyone just left. And I'm like, it's 4 p.m. I'm like, okay. So they had like some kind of crisis where he couldn't serve me. Like he legit, it was like one person inside basically just telling people to go away. And so I guess they're having a hard time hiring people, which makes sense. They pay like garbage, so whatever. A Whopper is $6.79. Oh my gosh. Dude, I'm gonna crash out about fast food in a second. Okay, so while we're installing this, let me go full screen real quick. Look, I'm not opposed to fast food. I mean, look at me. But let me. For the longest time, fast food was the fast, cheap, and good enough, right? I don't think anyone's trying to say that fast food is supposed to taste better than a restaurant. Everyone kind of understands it's lower quality, it's unhealthy. That was the point. And it was cheap. We went to Taco Bell the other day for the first time in a very, very, very long time. And I ordered the chalupa combo, which is two chalupa tacos, which is just mostly lettuce at this point, and then a normal taco on the side and a small drink. Okay. That combo cost over $10 before tax. It was like $10.40. A Taco Bell combo, over $10 for one combo. And then I'm thinking, I'm like, dude, and the food came out. It wasn't fast. It took like 10 minutes. Nobody else was at this restaurant. They parked me. It took 10 minutes to get the food out. So not only is it not cheap, it's not fast, and it's still crap. And so I'm like thinking, what happened to fast food? There is officially no point in fast food. The only time somebody should ever go to fast food these days is if you have to get food in a drive-through, because I'll admit most restaurants don't have a drive-through. So what are you going to do? There are some people, I understand there's reasons why you have to go through a drive-through. So I don't want to exclude those people. But for the most part, you can pick up food that is so much better from many different places that cost the same or cheaper. And so now I'm just thinking, I'm like, so what's the point of fast food? It's garbage food, it's expensive, and it's slow. It has lost all of its appeal to me. Like, it's really frustrating, to be honest. I'm like, and they wonder why no one is going inside. Well, what the heck? I don't know. They got to step up their game. Because then if you think about like Chili's, right? Chili's has like a like 3 for $10, where you get a drink, you get an appetizer and an entree. It's way more food than you would ever get at McDonald's or Taco Bell or whatever. It's better quality. It's just as fast because it takes 10 minutes to make a burger, I guess. Like, it's not that big a deal. And you do have to tip in America, but whatever. The quality is still there. Or you can just get it to go, and you get a ton of food for way cheaper. What are they doing? I just don't get it. The only time we eat fast food now is if we have some kind of insane coupon that makes it cheap enough where it makes it worth it. So, like, spend $10 at Panda Express, get $5 back. Okay, so you've made my $10 meal $5. Okay, this meal is worth $5. I think that's fine, and then we will go and get it. But outside of that, unless there's like coupons or some kind of crazy deal, we're like, nah, no way. This sucks. What has happened? We used to be a country, damn it. Here in Cali, fast food workers get $21 an hour. That's great. I wish it was like that everywhere. So that's the thing. I'm not opposed to fast food getting more expensive, right? As long as the food was better or the workers got paid more. But here in Texas, I know they get paid like shit, and the food has gotten worse. It's slower and more expensive anyway. So they say, like, we can't give them more money because the prices would increase. You're already increasing the prices. You've already been doing that. So what's the difference? Like, you know what I mean? And that's the annoying part. Like, you can't just increase prices and just say cost of doing business. Like, it has to go towards something. I like Arby's too. I haven't had too much Arby's. I think I've had it once or a couple times, maybe 3 times. It was okay. It was interesting. We're in a casual dining boom with all the deals places like Chili's and Applebee's are running nowadays. You pay the same as fast food. That's the sad part. I think in America, at least 70% of food that is not like grocery store is takeout. So 70% of all food is either DoorDash, drive-through, or takeaway. 70%. And so that means only 30% of the outside food is people sitting down at a restaurant. And I would argue that most of that is probably people eating lunch on their work break or something. I don't know. It's pretty crazy. You can get a KFC bucket meal for $30 and feed like 5 people and get it in a drive-through. That's an okay deal. $6 a person. It's fair. But that's when you're feeding 5 people, right? Go to the grocery store like Publix, have a boarhead meat sub with fresh veggies. Yeah, they do make stuff like that, huh? Yes, fast food apps are the only ways to get deals anymore. That's pretty much it. I will never go to a fast food place and just go through the drive-through and go, can I get that? Those times are done. Never again, because you can't. Because you're either order your over-expensive food on an app, or you're a sucker who they think they can just scam because you just drove up. I work at a gas station. I only make $15.50 an hour, and I worked here for 4 years. Tell them to give you more money. Arby's French dip was the goat. I have not tried it. $10 bucket Tuesdays. It's an 8-piece bucket at KFC. Now, see, that's a good deal. That's what I'm saying. That's the kind of stuff that's what gets me to go to fast food. Otherwise, I'm not. No way. No way. Bro, the guy at Del Taco ordered before me, and it was $60. What did he buy? How is this not done, dude? And I guarantee you we're going to have to do shaders. It's going to be 10 minutes of shaders. It's all dark meat too? Nice. Honestly, when I order that, if they let me choose, I will choose 8 chicken breast because it is the most amount of food. Maybe I'll get 1 or 2 thighs because they are really good, but chicken breasts are humongous and there's just way more food and it costs the same. So like I hate when it's like, yeah, it's an 8-piece and it's like wings. You know what I mean? Like it's like wings and drumsticks, which are, I like wings, but drumsticks are the garbage piece of the chicken they should always throw away. Drumsticks are garbage tier, garbage food. Truly the worst tasting of anything on there. In Florida, in a retirement community, eating out is considered the pastime of choices amongst oldsters. And that's great. Because they grew up in a time where it made sense. It was more affordable. And I would love more places to become a place where people can go and eat a meal and not feel like they're getting taken advantage of. It's something I'm not going to say it's only in America, but I will say like in Japan at least, it's not that expensive to go out to eat. There are tons of really affordable places where you can go and eat a meal and you can sit and you can enjoy it and it's not going to completely kill you, right? And it's healthy most of the time. But in America, that's just not the case. Dude, I'll fight you if you besmirch chicken legs. Dude, do you know the only reason people eat drumsticks? It's because what, Brownie? Hold on. The only reason people eat drumsticks is because they like how it looks on a cartoon. There's too much tendon, there's too much bone, there's barely any meat. The thigh is better, the wing is better. I don't know. Drumsticks are like the worst. Yeah, see, I eat it because it's easy. That's what I'm saying. It's just easy because there's a handle. People like it because there's a handle. Yeah, that's Brownie. He was meowing outside. And of course, as soon as I let him in, he wants to go again. I get Gold Star Taco Bell and Wingstop near my work. I have a friend of the managers, and they give me free stuff at times. Very cool. Chicken needs handles, brother. Oh my gosh. Sorry, your system does not meet the requirements to play Oblivion Remastered. Click OK to proceed to launch. Well, we'll see. Okay, that's paused. Okay, cool. But now we're gonna have shaders. Is he still meowing? Hey. Wingstop is okay. I like Wingstop actually. I wish it was cheaper, but it's at least the food is pretty good. We can't be friends until you get an Arby's French dip. All right, I'll give it a shot. I'll go take a look, see if they have a coupon. Y'all never had fresh Remke chicken before the legs. They are huge. I'm not sure. I don't know what Remke chicken is. Can I actually play the game? Guys, this is huge. Really? I get to just play? It's a store chain? Interesting. Never heard of it. The CPU usage right now is 95%, and the GPU usage is not, which is leading me to believe that we're not going to have a good time. But we'll see. Maybe it's just in the menu. I can't run this game properly with an RTX 3060 dedicated GPU. Really? Then I doubt I'll have a good chance. It's kind of, oh, whoa. All right. We are in. Oh, man. Look at that tearing. Oh, a little stutter. A little stutter. Yeah, here we go. I'm running around getting about 40 FPS, but that's not really the whole story. GPU usage and CPU is maxed out. Temperatures are okay. Let's see the VSync off, uncapped. Yep. I don't think I have enough VRAM. Low. I don't think FSR is on, huh? It's not. All right, well, let's turn it on. Let's leave it at balanced. Okay, so this is 1080p, everything's set to low with FSR turned on. Hey, it made it worse. 30? What happened? That's actually worse. How is that possible? What is going on here? So the tearing can be fixed. I'm not sure why it's tearing, but that's more of a recording issue. Try performance. Let's give it a shot. I wonder why it got worse. That's better. That's more like native though. 42. So this is like running around town. I know that if I went and fought something, cap the frame rate to what, 30? I mean, I could, I guess, but I'm trying to see how far we can go. Not necessarily make it playable. Yeah, some random stutters here and there. Like, it's bringing it down to... I would say stutters is what makes the game unplayable. If it's constantly happening, this is as far as you can go. Interesting. Make sure you don't go to Kvatch. Why? This is like my benchmarking save, so I don't mind, but stutter in the... Yeah, so FSR unbalanced, 45 FPS with 1% lows of like 12. It just keeps dropping because it's stuttering. More realistically, like, yeah. So I would say this is playable if you're like a child or if you're desperate to play it. But in reality, I probably wouldn't. I'd probably just wait. All right. How do I shoot? Yeah. Well, talking is okay. Does man-child count? Yeah, absolutely. The loading compass doesn't even animate. Yeah, so this is what I'm saying. Like, the mini PCs are great. Don't get me wrong. But if you are buying a cheap little PC that's this size and you're thinking it's going to play AAA games from like this year or last year really competitively, no, dude. It's going to emulate really well. It's going to play older AAA games okay. But we're just at a point where rasterization is not enough. As long as you live with your mom, it counts. I agree. That's fair. No problem there. Come on. The open world, guys. Oh, it's such a stuttering mess. Oh. Is there fall damage in this game? Surely there is. Oh, here we go. Here we go. Yatta! You kidding me? Are you kidding me? Oh, are you seeing that tearing from the bow? I wonder if that's from the FSR. Look, after I do this, it does this. Y'all see that ugly effect that like rips into the ground? Oh. Okay. So if y'all buy a mini PC, either spend a lot of money or be realistic, because this guy, it's not great. Look at the left part of or the right side of my bow as it goes against the water. It's having a hard time. Great demo, Jason. Thanks. No problem, Luke. Appreciate y'all being here. Here we go. Here we go. Ugh. No. You ready? Oh, is something attacking me? I'm playing on a trackpad. I can't. There's a crab. Ugh. Ugh. All right, 360 no scope right here. The sensitivity is so low. It's not happening. I always wonder when people review $200 computers and play the most expensive games. I mean, how would someone afford those games if they only had $200 for the PC? That is very true as well. But that's not really the point of it. It's like in a realistic kind of standpoint. I understand where you're coming from, but the idea is to show the absolute max that it can handle. So like if I show you a PC and it can play Doom the Dark Ages at like 4K 100 FPS, there's not really any point in trying GTA 5, right? There's no point in trying Cyberpunk. If it can handle that game, you know what it can handle. It can handle everything before it, right? And so that's kind of the point, is to like show what the highest of the high is, and to try to find a game that is a good representation of graphics, so that if you see it, you can compare it to other results and kind of make your own conclusions. So like maybe you've watched a bunch of benchmarks and you go, you know what? I noticed that at the same settings, this game is easier to run than Cyberpunk. And so once you try to figure out for yourself, you go, you know what? If this game can play Cyberpunk, it can definitely play this game. And that's kind of the whole point. But you're right. It is kind of silly to make a video that's like $100 PC and then test a bunch of $70 games on it. It's like those people aren't going to be playing those games. They're going to be playing free games, or they're going to be emulating and that kind of stuff. But yeah, that is that mini PC. What happened to the live chat? Wasn't it here? Oh no, was it here? Nope. What happened to my chat? Right here. Oh, it's because this is on top. No. Dang it. There we go. This is the problem when you add stuff on the fly, guys. Okay. Let me unplug this. Well, thanks for hanging out, guys. Sorry if this was kind of a weird stream, but wanted to test these out. I thought it'd be kind of fun to do it live with y'all. They definitely still need some more testing. I didn't even get to plug in the other one, but I know the games aren't going to play well. So, but that one will be more for like, testing for a home server or something. But you know, just because these guys they were nice enough to send me the PCs for free, so I appreciate that. Mini PC versus Optiplex next. I mean, we can do that for sure, but the Optiplexes generally don't have Ryzen. They usually have Intel, and they don't have any iGPUs really. Come on. So those guys were nice enough to send me their mini PCs, so I am going to link their stuff below, just to say as a thank you. Here's the TrigKey Key R8745HS PC, and I thought it was pretty good. And then we've got the Beelink 13900 HK. And I'll link that as well. Wow, 13900 HK is a 14 core, 20 thread beast. It's pretty crazy. Beelink SE. No, I'll just say Beelink GTI 13900 HK. Another great stream. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it. Thanks, everyone, for coming. Luke Walker, Lol Not So Funny, Dylan, Robert, Shiny J, anyone else who's here, Nathan. Appreciate you guys for coming. Have a great week. Probably we'll have a stream next week, and it might be kind of similar to this. Maybe not. We'll see. Maybe we'll just be another hangout stream. Let me post these down here. Boom. All right. Have a good week, guys. Thanks for coming in. Appreciate you. Good to see y'all as always. Have a good one. New video coming out later this week about a $900 gaming PC. And yes, Robert, I will go try an Arby's French dip. We'll see. I'm not gonna do it on stream. Maybe I'll get it myself.